Man like Mark Sullivan, the warrior yourself. Stay tuned for the thrilling episode. Woo!
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
This is the Snowboard Project featuring Mark Sullivan and the Beav. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project. I'm Mark Sullivan.
And I am the Beav. And we're in a few different places. Mark, where are you at?
I'm at home right now in my home recording studio.
I can see that by all the boards behind you.
Yeah.
I'm at the old Hot Water Inn. You can see the stage behind me. Beavs, I figured I'd try to make a cooler set than you, Sully.
Oh, man. You would.
Yeah. I would. Who are we joined with today? Should we just throw them on right now?
Sure.
All right.
What's up, guys?
We have
Tim Humphreys here.
Tim Humphreys. What's up, buddy?
Just hanging. Yeah, just chilling in my house in Tahoe. Just got done boarding.
Nice. How was it today?
That was pretty fun. Just cruised around Squaw. Just not really any fresh snow, but maybe some more this weekend.
Nice, man. Right on. Well, should we hop into this, Sully? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it, Beef.
Okay.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. Let's just get right to it, Tim. You are, obviously have been a pro snowboarder for a number of years. And at the same time, you have been this guy that we see like all over the place with his GoPro camera. How the heck did you start thinking, tell me about filming yourself and getting in with GoPro, I guess, how that whole thing came about.
All right. Yeah, so it all kind of just fell into my lap. It was like I'd kind of seen some snowboard videos with maybe who are the guys like Mike Bassich, Christoph Weber in one of the Robot Food movies, Zach Marbin. They were kind of doing this thing where they were like holding a camera in their hand and filming themselves. And I'd been involved with a couple video projects up to this point, and I always just like had trouble getting footage from people, and I always wanted footage for myself. And these guys were kind of doing this cool thing where they're filming themselves. And then eventually somebody told me I was like telling someone, I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this thing where I film myself. And someone's like, oh, you got to check out this thing called like a GoPro or something. Like it was, they were brand new. I think they had just come out with like a HD version or something. And so I saw this thing online. I was like, where has this been all my life? Oh my God, this is like perfect. It weighs nothing. It's widescreen, it's super wide, shoots slow-mo. It has sound. It's like, weighs nothing. I can just build a little handle for the bottom of it. And so I just wanted to kind of expand upon what these guys before me had done, like maybe once or twice or something like that. So I just happened to be at Mammoth, took a couple of runs through the park and filmed myself doing some tricks on the jumps and stuff. And then I don't know, I just made a video that night, put it online, and got so many views. It was nuts. I'd like never thought it would ever blow up that big. I got like 100,000 views overnight. And pretty much the people from GoPro just like came after me. They were like, I don't even know how they got my phone number.
No way.
Yeah, but they called me up and they're just like, what do we got to do to get this footage? I was like, well, can you guys send me like some more cameras and batteries? Because I freaking love these things. I just want to film with them more. And I guess they're pretty psyched to hear that. And then like a couple of months later, they sent me some more gear and offered me a contract and stuff. And I've been with them ever since.
Nice.
Did you have an agent dealing with that deal for you, or did you just deal with that on your own?
I was pretty much on my own at that point. I'd had like a couple agents in the past, and they kind of didn't really work out. I don't know. It's difficult to find the right person because a lot of them were like people I didn't know. Not naming names or anything like that. But yeah, I was kind of fully on my own. I mean, GoPro just reached out to me. It wasn't like I didn't have an agent hit them up or anything. Like most of the deals I have are kind of my doing in the first place. But yeah, it's sort of a weird ground. Like agents can be a good thing for you sometimes, or they can be totally toxic. It fully depends on the person that you're working with. So So actually right now I have one of my friends representing me, so it's kind of cool because he's one of my friends. He gets to be the bad guy for me. I don't have to argue with sponsors and have them get mad at me, because as the rider, it's like literally impossible to negotiate a contract for yourself.
Yeah.
Because the companies, they kind of like, they'll like use you in weird ways and stuff where it's like an agent can say things that I like can't. I don't know.
Right.
Give me an example of like something toxic that an agent has done while representing you.
Well, literally not even being in contact with me or doing their job. You know, I sign a deal with this agency, and then somebody throws a deal in my lap, and I'm, you know, hitting them up for a month being like, hey, I have this contract. Somebody literally offered me this contract. And this agent at the time was like, I want you to clean up your image and drop all your sponsors and this and that. I'm like, well, do you have anybody lined up? And they didn't really have an answer for me there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to drop all my sponsors. And then like a couple weeks later, I had this deal come to me. So I forwarded it on to them like, hey, you're my agent. Do your job. This is, you know, a new contract. And literally no response, nothing. Didn't hear anything from them. And then the only time they ever hit me back was when I sent them the 30-day you're fired notice. You know, a lot of agents too, though, like I've been smart enough to avoid this just because I'm aware of it, is if you currently have deals and a new agent approaches you, most of the time they're just there for 20% of your shit. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Oh yeah.
I can say shit? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, so I've had some other people approach me recently and trying to be my agent, and they had nothing new to offer. I was like, okay, well, you can't have any of these deals, but if you find me a goggle deal or something like that, you know, maybe I'll work with you on just that one. Nobody ever calls me back because they have nothing actually new to offer. They just want 20% of my shit.
Interesting.
So actually, my buddy who's representing me now is Ian Thorley, one of my good friends for a long time, also a pro
Nice.
snowboarder.
Right.
And yeah, he's got a really good deal going on with me. You know, if I like tell him I want him to take over an existing contract, he only takes a percentage of what he negotiates up from what I currently have. So it's actually like literally the only fair deal I've ever heard of an agent, you know,
Wow.
in my whole time doing it.
Talk to me about just like the challenges of being a professional rider and navigating those for yourself, you know, and what these kids are kind of going through these days. You know, are they getting completely ripped off, or what's? Yeah,
It's being an actual pro snowboarder is like so much different than I ever imagined. Like the actual logistical side of it, it's sometimes a total nightmare. Can definitely burn you out, you know, especially with the level of riding and what these kids have to compete with these days, especially guys that are on the contest circuit. It's just, the riding is so next level, and sponsors just, I don't know, they're not offering as big a checks as they used to, I guess.
Right.
Either that, or there's just a lot more kids who are so good that it's really hard to like make your way in that space, because every freaking 15-year-old kid can do a double cork back 10, 12, triple cork, whatever. Like they can all do all the tricks. So then all of a sudden it's like, what do I do to separate myself apart? Do I have to flip 4 or 5 times, or do I have to do more spins? Do I just have to win more consistently? You know, so you could approach it that way. Or, you know, what a lot of them don't realize is like, I chased that for a long time, like thinking better snowboarding equated to more sponsors and more money. And really what the sponsors kind of want now is a lot different than kind of just pure riding talent, because everybody can do that. They basically want you as like an ambassador of their brand that makes the brand look cool. Also, they want lots of media assets, because social media and everything's so big, and people film lots of stuff, but not a lot of people are able to like put that together and present it and put it out in like a deliverable package and stuff. So a lot of things I do is like provide stuff like that to sponsors. I do a lot of product testing. I test all sorts of prototype stuff. You know, kind of like anywhere that I can help out and provide value to the companies, because a double cork 1080 does not translate to them selling a board or bindings or something like that. I mean, unless you're on TV and X Games and your bindings look all sick and people see it or something. You know, that has some value, but generally, unless you're up there winning every time, that's only like 5 people total. So if you're not one of those 5 people, then you kind of got to get a little bit creative and, you know, offer value to the companies, you know, that goes beyond the tricks you do.
Yeah. When did you realize that like the competitive circuit and competing and stuff like that wasn't going to be the way that you were going to sustain in the snowboard industry? And what did you do to kind of counter that, I guess, at that point?
Well, basically I was like injured for 3 years straight. So that really put a damper on it. Yeah, spending a lot of time on the couch. Actually upped a lot my video editing game though there, so that was kind of like helped me kind of transition into the filming thing, because I always wanted to do that. I mean, I started snowboarding because I saw the Mac Dog Meltdown project, and that like blew my mind. I was like 7 years old. I didn't even really know what snowboarding was at that point, and that was my first impression. So I was like so blown away, and that's always what I wanted. I was like, I grew up on snowboard videos, and that's just what I wanted to be a part of, you know. And contests were like kind of had a means to an end, you know. They sort of got me to a certain level of recognition or something where I could go out and do all this filming,
right?
You know, and also just, you know, the riding where I could be consistent enough to be able to go out and film stuff and do it on command in front of the camera.
Sure.
You know, because, you know, even if you're not competing, when you're in front of a camera, you're still sort of competing with yourself. You're competing with the time of day and what you're trying to accomplish and all sorts of stuff like that, you know. So you still got to go out there and perform, you know, but it's a little bit more on your own schedule, and you can pick and choose what you want to do, instead of contests being like, this is the course, it's going down at exactly 2:15 p.m. You have to be there for your run. It's like, well, what if there's a giant ass cloud in front of the sun, fucking snow tornado, wind going down the course? You know, I did a lot of contests where I'm sitting up there like, really? I have to drop in right now? And they're like, yes, we're on live TV. You have to go right now. And I'm just like, I can't even see the first fucking jump. Like,
wow.
What?
Right.
You know, they're like, you have to drop. I'm just like, this is so stupid. You know, so after doing that for like 15 years straight, I got kind of over it, and then all the injuries and everything, and kind of fell behind on the tricks. I mean, kids were doing triple corks, and I'd been injured on the couch for like 3 years and everything. I was just, you know, to get myself back to that point, I was like, shit, I'm probably just going to get hurt again a bunch trying to do triple corks on icy park jumps in crappy conditions.
Right.
You know, I don't know how those kids do it now.
So you kind of you ended up deciding, hey, I'm going to go into like filming. I know we filmed for a ton out at Smith together, which was fun.
Yeah,
we did the
that was like
prospecting
right
Idaho.
in the beginning. That was like you know, that was like I think that was my first year ever snowmobiling, actually. Like literally when I came there, I was brand new. Oh my god.
You were
I remember like Nate and Austin were just giving me so much shit the whole time, because I literally was like brand new at sledding, and they were like trying to get me to do all this shit, and I like didn't even know what they were trying to ask me to do, and I'm like, they're like trying to get me to carry them up the hill. I'm like, dude, I can barely even like make it up the hill on my own, all this shit. I remember I was trying to double Nate up, and I like couldn't do it. It like wasn't even that bad of a hill. I had just literally never snowmobiled before.
Right. I do remember that. I remember
I'm like, I don't even know how to ride this thing.
I remember your skidoo that you brought, and
that floppy ski.
Yeah, the floppy ski. Yeah, we had all kinds of problems. But anyways, what I wanted to get at was, you know, we were getting into filming at that time, you and I, and you always had the GoPro with you, and you were kind of learning how to frame yourself and do that. And it's like, as a filmer, I think it's respect. I was never into the GoPro. I hated the first hand perspective. I was I hated getting like hours and hours of like footage from you or from whoever was going to do it. But you were doing something completely different, which was you were filming the perspective of yourself in the air and getting like these perspectives. Hand holding it at first, and then kind of on a thing. Where did you come up with that, I guess, idea? And then I guess the idea was kind of there, but how did you get the idea to be like, I'm going to do like a 7 with this in my hand, and then be able to actually keep yourself in the frame? I think most people would just be throwing their arms around and whatever. Yeah, I just I mean, I'd kind of done like a lot of these, you know, like there's a lot of tricks for me just from doing them over and over and over again on park jumps and contests and photo shoots and stuff, like back 7s, cab 5s, like front 3s. There's all these tricks that are just, I can just do them without even thinking about stuff. Like I don't even need to think about the trick. Like I've done them so many times that like I don't have to worry about flailing my arms or whatever, and I can think about other things while I'm in the air. You know, I'm not even, the trick is just so auto programmed in me. Because I've done it so many times that it's like I kind of got bored or something and had this idea of filming myself, and I was like, I could do this multitasking, you know, and just kind of just go up and try stuff. One thing that I liked about the GoPro is like, I have this little camera I can put in my pocket and carry it around all day, you know, and if I want to try something and there's no other film around or something like that, then I can just go do this thing on my own, maybe get some shots, try something just from doing so many random experiments and just trying different things. That's kind of how I like figured it all out. You know, it's all just trial and error, and just going and doing it a lot. Right. Do you feel like taking that initiative to actually learn how to do that kind of gave you an advantage when, say, like the triple cork came around and you were like, I'm not going to do that, you know? And was that, you know, being able to go back to that and use that as like a marketing tool, how did that work out for you, like in your career, I guess?
I mean, dang, I'm 31. I'm still doing it somehow. I think it worked out pretty well. I think I just got lucky, man. Like, just did it at the right time. You know, because maybe if I was doing it a little bit more in the past or something like that, it would have been a little bit more difficult. But now that social media is so important to everybody, oh my God.
Yeah, right.
I hate it. But people love the fact that I just have so much footage content and I can go out and make stuff on my own and do it quick. Constantly have deliverables for sponsors, you know, make sure to work their product into all my videos, you know,
right.
Those little flow binding kick-in shots that I make in all those videos, you know, they're there for a reason.
Sure.
You know, and the fact that I can just provide that to all the different sponsors is really kind of what's helped me provide value, you know, even though I'm not doing triple corks.
Yeah. Talk to me about what the role is. What is the role of a pro snowboarder these days? If it's not just being able to do the tricks, what is that role? What is the?
Oh man,
you know?
It's kind of everything. You know, a lot of brands rely on the riders to be like their eyes and ears out in the streets. You know, out to current trends. You're also a person that's capable of pushing the gear to the absolute limit. So you have a lot of value as like a product tester and product development, you know, making sure you find all the weak spots of all the gear, you know, because it's like, if I ride something for a whole year and don't break anything, hitting huge jumps and just smashing on the gear all the time, then, you know, the average consumer is probably not going to have too many issues with it too, you know, just because me and the other guys, we ride like a lot harder than your average person do. So, you know, there's value in that. Also going around with reps, helping them do clinics with shops and stuff, and just meeting people, going out and shredding with people. You know, your job's pretty broad. And since you're like an independent contractor and it's really vague, your job description, it kind of is like whatever they ask you to do.
Sure.
You know, because sometimes they'll hit me up even to make custom videos.
Right.
Like Flo hit me up to do a quick little 30-second video just with bumpers on the beginning and end. It was just looping on some screens at some shop somewhere, like
sure.
with some other videos too. You know, so they just gave me a quick little format. We want some clips like this, show like 1 or 2 strap-in shots of the binding,
right?
Whatever. So I just cut that up for them real quick, sent it out to them.
Have you ever been asked to just like do something that just sucks and you're like, this just isn't me, and I can't believe I have to push this bullshit thing across my media?
Yeah, every now and again, like sometimes in the sake of them trying to innovate products and stuff, they'll come out with some new gear that I just, oh my God, why couldn't they just stick with the old stuff? Right. Or something like that.
Right.
You know, and they really want me to push this gear, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't actually like this, and I don't think it's good. And I have all these people asking me like, oh, how much do you love this? And I'm just like, I don't want to lie to them. You know, sometimes that gets a little weird. Generally, if they ask me to do something like completely outlandish, I'll just be like, no, or just figure out something else or some other way to accomplish kind of their desired result. But I mean, I've definitely been sent out on a couple of goose chases to go just like do some stupid stuff. I remember like way back, they sent me like all the way out to France to go to, I don't even know what it was. They never even told me. And I went there and I sat around a bunch, and I don't even think I went to the thing because the people there like didn't bring us there. And me and that dude Pay2 Puroinen, and the Finnish dude is his little brother. It was like both of us, we were riding for Flo at the same time, Petya Puroinen.
Right.
And we were just in France for like 3 days, and they sent us there, and we have no idea what the hell it was for, and we don't think we did it. And then we left, and we were like super confused the whole time.
So can you put it into balance, like how important it is to be a good rider, how important it is to create content, like making these edits for Instagram or for your sponsors, and then how important it is just to get new sponsors and to keep the sponsors that you have happy, and then everything else, like going to shops with sales reps and riding with kids and everything else. How do you keep all that in balance, and what is that balance?
If you're doing all of it like I am, it's a super hard balance because I literally have no free time. Right. So I'm like, do I edit videos today? Do I go snowboarding? Like, it's kind of nice out. I don't know. And then it's like, if I go riding, I have all this footage that I filmed. But I think it's super important, always the riding. The riding always, you need to keep the riding legit.
Right.
You know, because nobody wants to see you snowboard if you're like not proficient looking, obviously.
Sure.
As far as being the best snowboarder in the world, don't necessarily have to be that anymore either, just because of how crazy all these tricks have gotten. Triple corks, like your average person almost doesn't want triple corks. They kind of want like, that looks like fun, I want to do something like that, you know, or it's like kind of within reach, but maybe just a step above what they're capable of doing, but they can, you know, they can see how it could happen for them, you know, or even something like, a lot of people love it when I show videos of hitting the those rollerboard things at Woodward Tahoe. They're like these snowboards with wheels on them, and you jump into a foam pit with them.
Right.
And when I go chuck some crazy flips on those, people are like, oh wow, like that's how a person goes from not doing any of these tricks to like, that's the in-between step of not being able to do the trick to like the step before you actually try it on a real jump in snow. Sure. Because you don't just, I don't know, it's pretty sketchy going out and just trying a double cork on a park jump for your first time. That's what I did, because there weren't foam pits and stuff yet when I tried my first one. But now that you have it, a lot of people love kind of seeing that stuff. Actually, my most viewed video on Instagram was me hitting the rollerboards at Woodward.
Okay. Interesting.
You know, so yeah, it's people want stuff that they can like relate to. You know,
Sure.
You either got to have something relatable or like super mind blowing, or something brand new and different that no one's ever seen. Like right now, I have this this video I filmed where I'm just holding the GoPro Fusion, the VR camera, on a stick, but it's like this back angle behind me. I have it off this backpack, and I'm just like ripping through a bunch of trees. It actually, I made like an 8-minute edit and put it up on IGTV, and I was like, oh my God, people's attention spans are not going to be able to handle this. And honestly, for a month, it proved me right, because that thing got like no views. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like 2 days ago, it started getting views, and I have like 50,000 views on it.
Wow.
I know, right? Screw your attention spans.
Right.
People are still down to watch an 8-minute edit.
So let's just talk about that. Let's talk about that idea. How has social media really changed the name of the game? Like you were inspired by like the Meltdown Project, which was a 30-minute video, and now we're boiling things down to these like 10-second clips. Talk to me just about social media and what it's done. You know,
I love it. I hate it. It like kind of ruined the very existence that I knew, but also kind of create this new fun existence also.
Right.
So I grew up on snowboard videos, and I really only got to film like 2 or 3 real video parts, like one with standard films, and then literally the next year after that, they couldn't make videos anymore because social media, internet killed the video star.
Sure.
Yeah, video killed the radio star. We're on the 2018 version. Internet killed the video star. Straight up. So yeah, I only got to the thing I grew up on. I only really got to enjoy that for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden, sort of, I kind of helped undo it also. But honestly, if I didn't do it, somebody else probably would have.
Sure.
So at least I could capitalize on that.
Right.
But yeah, it's weird that it used to you used to live and die by the video part. You know, that was like your existence. You know, it was all about like who is just throwing down the hottest fire, like every New Year's video, like. What did this crew do? What did that crew do? And it's weird. It took out kind of some of that like filming competitiveness a little bit. You know, all the crews. I mean, the attitude in the backcountry is a lot more chill these days. People aren't like fighting each other at trailheads to get to jump spots and stuff, which is kind of cool. But
True.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like social media kind of killed the one thing that I grew up on, but it also provided this whole brand new thing that, I mean, it supports my talents a lot more because I'm good at just making quick stuff, get it out.
Sure.
You know, because I have terrible ADD and I literally can't let footage sit on my drive. I like just need to like edit it and get it out of my life.
Right.
And just make more. So it's that double-edged sword. But yeah, I kind of hate it though. I hate Instagram for the fact that, and social media in general, just for the fact that it really reduces the quality of everything.
Right.
You know, because the video part was like you put 110% into everything and it was perfect and it was just so insane and sick. And now people kind of just want like a constant flow of mediocrity, sort of. You know, it's you don't get anything extra out of making something super, super dope and posting on social media. Like most of the stuff that I put heart and soul into, honestly, I get like 2,000 views.
Right.
And then some other thing that I literally barely even post because I think it sucks gets like 100,000. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Right.
So yeah, it's almost weird. You're almost de-incentivized to put effort into stuff on social media. So yeah, it's kind of killed the quality of things lately.
Yeah, Sully and I were
It is what it
noticing
is.
Sullivan, you know, was took some numbers on like some of the snowboard films, you know, that were out this year, and it was like, you know, whatever snowboard video that was probably like had like a $50,000 budget from, you know, some shoe company or whatever gets like 8,000 hits. You know, what is that? How does that work out when it's like, you know, 425 to the dollar, you know, to every view, you know, like what is that? And then Instagram, you have 100,000 views looking through that. I mean, I don't know if that equates to just scrolling past it or whatever, you know, what are your thoughts kind of on that?
It seems like this year there are like more video content than ever, like for free, paid for, whatever. How do you cut through that clutter?
That's a great question. You go to all the tried and trusted true snowboard media outlets. You know, there's still a couple people standing true. You know, got Snowboard, Snowboarder, Transworld. Those guys always keep it legit. You know, because on Instagram you can follow whoever you want. So it's like, why not follow a bunch of people who are really sick at snowboarding? You know,
right?
It's like if you want to see insane, dope stuff every day, there's plenty of creators you can follow that are awesome. You know, but if you're following people that suck, then you're going to see bad stuff.
So you try to get your content placed basically on Transworld, Snowboard, Snowboarder to maximize
that definitely helps.
views.
Honestly, I try and get it wherever anybody will put it, you know. Obviously, the bigger the outlet, the better, and that's better for me because it helps broaden my reach. But even if any small random Instagram accounts hit me up like, hey, we want to reshare your video, I'm like, hell yeah, do it. You know, I'm not weird and like, I don't try and hoard my footage or any stuff like that because honestly, I've turned and burned so many edits that it's hard for me to really like hoard stuff super hard. I just want people to watch it.
How much time do you spend editing videos compared to like promoting people, like sharing them or watching them?
I probably spend more time editing content than I do consuming. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's sometimes I feel like I miss a lot of stuff or so much awesome stuff goes down. And I just don't see it because I'm here editing videos in front of my computer instead of, you know, watching videos on my computer, I guess. Watching my videos over and over again on repeat, but in tiny sections and as I move along. My God. Mind numbing sometimes. But yeah, there's lots of stuff that comes out and I feel so bad when my friends, I see them on the mountain, they're like, hey, did you see like Scott Brown's new part in the Dope movie or something? I'm like, oh shit, I missed it. You know, it's like, oh, when did that come out?
Right.
They're like, oh, a while ago. I was like, I feel so bad because, you know, people who are my homies that want to see their stuff. I didn't like, I missed the post or whatever that promoted it and didn't see it or, you know.
Right.
But try and watch as much as I can.
Right.
You know, because that's always inspiration. Always good to see what people are doing currently too. You know.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to be out doing my own random experimental ideas that I have in my mind, you know, it's always cool to see what's relevant and current and what everyone's up to. And
It seems like this year you've been filming a lot with this like 360 camera. Is that right?
Yeah.
What is that, and how does that work out?
It's the GoPro Fusion, and yeah, it's like this 360 camera. Actually, here I have it here. Do we have a video stream?
Yeah.
I have it here with you right now. Hold on one second.
Let's see it.
Yeah, grab that thing. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out Tim's Instagram,
so
you should.
This is the thing right here.
Okay.
So it has two lenses on it, and each one of them films like more than 180 degrees. So you have it on a pole like perfectly vertical, exactly like this,
like that, like facing left.
If you
and
turn
right.
it like that, it doesn't work. It's got to be perfectly straight, and like the screw mount has to be perfectly centered. Lots of poles are actually not like that.
Okay.
And
what difference does that make?
Otherwise it clips out the pole.
Yeah,
so there's like where the two video streams connect, like along this line down the center, it like cuts everything out so you don't see the pole. So it kind of looks like this little ominous like drone kind of following me around everywhere. But it's like there's nothing attached to it. So yeah, it's if you have everything perfectly straight and lined up, it'll crop out the pole nice, and yeah, you don't see the pole, which is pretty tight.
So what's the process like to work with? Like, how do you work with the footage?
Oh, so filming it is like the easiest thing ever. It's honestly the greatest because you kind of just put it out on the pole and you don't hold it out like a GoPro. Like before with old GoPros, I used to be doing spins. Like when you see it from a third person perspective, like it looks like I'm just like total straight arm, like flying around and stuff.
It looked ridiculous every time that I saw you do
exactly.
that.
You've seen it, Mark. Yeah. You've seen it, Beav. So yeah, with the Fusion, you actually want to make it look like you're not holding anything in your hand. You kind of just keep your hands casual and just hold the camera sort of, you don't even need to hold it high up. You want it kind of like shoulder level to like almost your knees or something. That's like a good area. So it's cool. You don't have to like hold it all high up and weird and stuff. It's not messing up my style anymore. And the best thing is you never like miss the shot because it films everything. So you never like leave the frame. You can like always get yourself back in it. So my success rate with this camera is insanely high. It's like 99.9% of shots where I perform the trick and don't like drop the camera or anything stupid, like the shot will work, which is just nuts. Like that high of a success rate.
So then how do you edit it? Is it in Premiere or what program are you using? And then how do you edit it?
There's a lot of ways. You can use Adobe Premiere and Final Cut are the two best ways on the computer. But first you have to take the two memory cards, drop them to a folder on your computer, and then you import that into the GoPro Fusion Studio, which is the software that you download for free off their website. And what that does is it combines the two video hemispheres together, stitches them, stabilizes it. You can like do a couple other settings, and then you can also make exports from there too. But you can't like change the framing on a clip. You can set it to one thing, but you can't like adjust it with keyframes or anything. So it has some kind of basic editing functions like that. But what it's good for is it puts it into a full like 360 by 180 degree view, which then you put into Adobe Premiere or Final Cut. And then there's this plugin that comes with Fusion Studio you install, and it gives you keyframe controls over all the same settings that are in Fusion Studio. So that way you can adjust the frame dynamically, or you can even pause the video and then warp the frame around, look around, then keep it playing. You know, there's so much you can do with it in post-production. And it's one thing I realize is cool is I can, from one source video, I can have a 16 by 9 version, a square version, an IGTV vertical 9 by 16 version.
No
or
way.
I could watch it with like a VR headset and some goggles. It's like from one piece of source media, there's so many different ways that you can present it. It's pretty interesting. There's so much you can just do with the footage. And you can also edit on mobile too. It's actually kind of cool on the phone because you can you kind of like hit the record button and it like plays the video, and then it just records like how you look around with the phone. So it's like you play the video back and you like film it as it's like playing on your phone. You have like infinite retries to do it, and you can like swipe and zoom and stuff.
How long have you had this camera? Like how long have you been working with this technology, and how long did it take you to learn how to utilize it?
I think I got the camera like in the spring sometime. And I pretty much had everything all figured out. I watched like 2 20-minute tutorials on YouTube and maybe tried making like, by my 4th or 5th edit, I had it all pretty figured out. And then after that, it's just, you know, trying to figure out new ways to mount the camera and where to put it. Like lately I've been strapping it to my backpack, and it's been the best thing ever because I don't have to hold anything. Just like riding POW with that, it's like the greatest.
Right. I saw you make a grab, like in a backside grab or whatever. And I was like, he's obviously not holding a pole with that hand.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying
it's
to
like you think I'm holding
out.
the pole and then I grab with my hand. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah. So how do you strap that to your backpack so it films you?
Oh, dang. I don't have the backpack in here with me. Honestly, I kind of jam one end of the pole into the water bottle mesh pocket at the bottom on one side. And then there's like this other clip kind of that clips the main zipper together next to the board strap on the other side, and I kind of have it go like diagonal, so kind of like the camera sort of sticks out off my back a little bit. But either that, or I have another one that's like horizontal too. I can loop it through like the board strap.
You'd think GoPro would have figured out an actual like accessory for that, you know?
I know, right?
At this point, yeah. Like, why aren't you calling up GoPro and just designing something with them? You know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I tell them all sorts of things, but
yeah,
do they get listened to? Yeah. I mean, their Seeker Pack does have a pole mount, but the problem is the Seeker Pack was designed before the Fusion, and the thing with the Fusion, like the only thing you don't really want to do with it is put it directly over your head. And the Seeker Pack has this like pole mount that goes directly straight up next to your head, which is cool for a regular GoPro. You can get this cool like over the shoulder angle.
Right.
But on the Fusion, it's just when it looks down, you got to like tiny planet it when you edit. It's weird. It doesn't like to look down very much. So it's sort of works, but it's just it's not like ideal for the Fusion.
So let me ask you a couple questions just about the Fusion here. Do you find that other people, like there are other riders that have, I guess, the patience to sit and learn this process as well as hold it correctly and utilize it in a way that's useful for them, or are you still like the only guy out there doing it? You know,
there's a couple people out there, and I've actually like handed my camera off to a bunch of people this summer, and was trying to get them to just use it and whatever. I'm like, hey, want to take this thing for a run? Like, try and hit some jumps or do whatever. And like everyone I gave it to was like, oh my god, this is so hard to do. Like trying to manage that while you're doing tricks. But I guess I don't know. I've been used to it for doing it for a long time. But I mean, for like cruise and pow and stuff like that, there's a couple of people that have been getting after it a little bit.
Sure.
The thing is most people don't have a computer that you can edit it on and still keep your sanity. Because, I mean, my little piece of crap old 2012 MacBook Pro can still handle it, but at the cost of, it takes about 35 minutes to export like 1 minute of footage.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess people out there probably don't know that you're such a computer nerd. You build your own computers, right?
Oh yeah, what I'm broadcasting from right now is literally a PC that's hacked to run OS X. So I'm like, I'm really broadcasting from a Hackintosh right now.
I didn't mean to call you a computer nerd, but like you have built computers from the ground up, and that's so you have a fast computer that can do these things, and most people just can't do it because they don't have the technology.
But computers they're catching up. There's a lot of consumer 6-core laptops coming out right now, so those can hang. So if you have like one of the new 6-core laptops, you'll be flying through all that footage. It'll be good.
Wow, your secret, you just blew it for yourself. Now everybody's gonna go get that.
I know, right?
You know,
I know, and everyone's gonna know all my secrets. No, I still got a few secrets in there.
Right.
But the secrets aren't even in the hardware and the editing. They're a little bit in the editing, but not really. I mean, if like you watch what people do with their videos, it's like not that hard to replicate because there's only so many ways you can adjust the keyframes.
Right.
It's really just like getting creative where you mount the camera and how you film with it. And the thing that's so appealing to me is it's so brand new that almost every new thing I try is like, I don't know, I've never seen anything like it. Nobody else has done anything like it. You know, that's what's enticing to me. Is I kind of get bored with stuff real quick. So it's always kind of something brand new. It's like every time I go out with it, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is great.
Right.
Like I hope it works.
Right. So would you say that people are actually trying it out? I did see an Instagram where like a guy from I think like Elevated Surfcraft was, using one, and I was like, oh, he figured it out. But I haven't seen too many other people aside from you and that guy,
Yeah, there's some guys, Anthony Wallace, surfer, he's been getting down on the Fusion quite a bit. He's got some really sick Fusion videos. The other guy, Robbie Crawford, famous wave photographer, he shoots, if you've seen a photo of like inside a wave that looks super sick, it's probably his.
Right.
He's been getting down, like, he's honestly the person that I call the most to bounce ideas off of and talk about the Fusion.
Interesting.
He's been he has like a VR goggles, and he's been getting super into like making VR experiences with the Fusion, which is pretty cool. He went to like Kelly Slater's wave pool and just gave the Fusion to his friend, got his friend to get a super sick barrel riding with it, and then he edited it for all like to be watched in goggles and everything, kind of give you the feeling like you're surfing this wave that literally you don't have enough money to surf.
Right. That brings up an interesting point, because I want to ask you, do you think VR is kind of the way of the future? Do you think we'll actually see a snowboard video in VR, or are we just going to be like we're still going to be doing one-offs on IG, or is that even something that people are interested in, or is VR going to be gone in 2 years and everyone hates it?
I think it can hang on. Cuz definitely the technology's there. Because VR had a pass at it in like the early 90s, mid 90s or something. Remember? And like VR kind of had a thing a little while ago.
Yep.
But the problem with that was that like the displays were so laggy and they didn't refresh fast enough where they really couldn't. It would still be kind of jittery motion and laggy motion and stuff. Where everything right now, like you're so immersed and you're so in it. Like, have you ever put a nice VR headset on and used it? Like,
I haven't.
You forget you forget where you are, dude. Like you're gone. You're wherever like the picture you're seeing is.
You get butterflies in your stomach. Look over the edge of a cliff. Oh, that's scary.
You like forget that you're just like sitting in a room on a chair or something.
Right.
It's so immersive and cool. And I think there's like so much room for growth in it, and people are really starting to take advantage of a lot of that now. And
Sure.
maybe with like the VR videos, maybe not quite yet, because the Fusion's still kind of like, it's totally a first gen consumer grade camera.
Sure.
You know, so it's like how it puts the video together, the stitching isn't exactly perfect. I wouldn't say it's like professional quality yet, you know, but it's still a first gen thing. I mean, all the cameras out are all first gen 360 cameras.
Sure.
And I think for, you know, what it is and what it can do, there's huge potential.
Right.
And I think that, you know, give it like generation 2 or 3, you know, we're going to be seeing some pretty amazing stuff, I think.
So when's the Tim Humphrey experience coming out, you know? the snowboard edit, you know, the first one that's going to be in VR.
I need to get I don't have any goggles, so that's been one thing that's been killing me is
Wait, you have everything else in the world to do this, but you don't actually have the goggles to actually view it? Like
Well, yeah, just because I've been editing shit for a fucking screen this big.
Right.
Classic. But it does give you a lot of flexible options. But the one thing about headsets is their vertical field of view isn't too crazy big yet.
Gotcha.
So I almost want to wait until like mid this year, because I think the widest field of view one available right now is like 110 degrees vertical, which like really isn't that tall. And from what I've seen, a lot of my footage is like I can't fit my whole body in the view. It's like it still cuts off my head and feet and stuff. But there's word on the street that there might be some that have like 140 degree vertical field of view maybe coming out soon.
Interesting.
And there's that CES thing coming up soon. They'll probably get announced there. So I wasn't really trying to like buy something and then have something way sicker come out at CES like next week.
Do you get invited to those things and you walk down and you're like, oh, that's Tim Humphreys. He does the snowboard, you know, VR videos or whatever. Or do you go to those things? Not quite.
I've been to CES once actually. Like Intel processors paid me to go there to spit knowledge about some of their hardware and their laptops.
No way.
That they're putting in laptops. Yeah, it was way back when GoPro Studio was one of the first people to. It was one of the first soft programs to be compatible with this Intel hardware that they came out with in their like slim laptop processors.
Right.
And it was like kind of like a separate section of the processor that was capable of like decoding videos. So you could be like working on you could be like basically exporting video on your computer, but you could still watch video in like real time while you were exporting video, because normally that just ties up 100% of your computer and you can't do anything. So this was like kind of optimized to be able to like, even if your processor was at 100% use, you could still watch video because it was like controlled by like a separate piece of hardware.
Right. Interesting.
So they basically had me go explain that to all the nerds at CES and show some snowboard videos. It was pretty sick, actually.
Nice, man.
They had the most baller booth. Like literally, that booth probably cost more than I made my whole snowboard career.
It probably did, actually. Those
Right.
probably multi-million-dollar booths.
Right.
Seriously.
Talking about making money in a snowboard career. Let's maybe rewind a little bit. We've spent a lot of time on technology here. Talk to me just about like you kind of had a few heartbreaks kind of as your career was taking a shift and convincing them to stick with you like a sponsorship and to give you money. Talk to me about just a little bit about those moments, about those things, and I guess you know, weathering the storm and then being relevant again, you know, after feeling not so relevant.
Yeah, it's definitely snowboard industry doing it as a sponsored rider. There is like literally zero job security. Nobody gives you health insurance.
Right.
I mean, your sponsor could drop you at any point in time. I mean, they could go bankrupt at any point in time. You have no guarantees whatsoever. And, you know, I feel like a lot of times when things start going bad, it's not just like, oh, one little thing, like, oh, I can find a new sponsor and take that place. I swear, like, everything just takes a giant shit all at once.
Right.
You know, so I've had some times in the past where it was like, yeah, I was riding for Sessions, they went bankrupt, they had owed me a bunch of money. I was like in a lawsuit with them for like 2 years, trying to get that back. That was borderline almost a lost cause. And then like, I'd also gotten dropped by Smith, and then there's like some other just like drama going on, and you know, it was definitely, and I'd been like injured a bunch for a while, and it was kind of like I was just getting back, and I'd had like a great year, and there was like no reason for any of this stuff to be happening, but for some reason, like after like one of my best seasons, just everything was just blowing up in my face, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do anything right.
Right.
You know, and it just, you just gotta keep pushing, keep going. I know a lot of people that, they lose like their sponsors and they just give up. They quit snowboarding. It's weird. Like, I don't know. I don't think I could ever do that. Did you ever have that, like, a thought? You're like, okay, what's game plan B? What do I do? Do I become
a professional computer builder? Like, what do I, what was that thought crossing your mind at a certain point?
Never really like what I wanted to do after. I mean, there's like probably all sorts of things I could do after. I'd probably still want to stay involved with snowboarding because I like going outside and stuff like that.
Sure.
That was the one thing that kept me away from being professional computer builder, because that sounds extremely indoors related.
Right.
And I can't sit behind the screen forever.
Right.
Yeah. So, I'm like, I could do something like that, but that kind of sounds like me working for somebody else, where I'd almost rather just start my own like boutique computer brand or like a sick like peripheral company, because I've built a ton of computers. I use tons of different hardware and all sorts of things for video editing, storing footage. And since just from using it so much, like, I know what sucks about it and what's good about it. And
sure.
I feel like I could design stuff that's way better than the shit that all the computer companies are making right now.
Sure. So what kept you from, actually having to pursue that, and like, how am I going to stay in the snowboard industry? Kind of like
exactly. So there's always kind of that fallback idea, or like doing video editing. Like GoPro constantly tries to like pull me away from snowboarding to be like a full-time like content producer for them. I'm just like, I can still snowboard. Why would I stop this? Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, as a photographer, it's like, I'm not going to go start shooting weddings when I'm shooting snowboarding. Like,
yeah, totally.
No, sorry.
I'm just, I can save that for later.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Still got plenty of time on the board. But yeah, I mean, there's been lots of times I've wanted to quit. Not really too worried about where I'll go, because I'll figure that out.
Right.
It's hard to say exactly what I want to do, because if I'm so focused on just one certain thing, then, I might miss other opportunities or let other things, pass by that might be things that I'd rather do.
In your opinion, what's kind of going on in snowboarding these days? What's going on with like riders getting paid, not getting paid? Is snowboarding slowly dwindling, the interest in it? Are things like, our ticket prices getting too expensive? What's going on? Give me that kind of idea. Or what?
The big picture.
The big picture.
Big picture.
Yeah, give me the big picture.
The big picture is, I feel like maybe the resorts are kind of taking over. Day tickets have gone out of control. It's like stupid how much it costs to go snowboard for one day. It's like, just buy the pass. Oh my God. Like, everybody who doesn't buy a pass and goes snowboarding more than 3 times at the same resort is an idiot. Like,
right.
Like, straight up, like, day tickets are almost $200, and you can get a pass for like $500 or $600. Like, just get the pass. So much more worth it. And a lot of them work at a bunch of different resorts. That's the one cool thing, though, is if you're trying to shred a lot, you can get like the Icon Pass, and you can go so many different places all over, and it works at all sorts of resorts. But yeah, if you're just somebody trying to get into skiing or snowboarding, it's super difficult and expensive, because it's hard to just go try it out. So that's one thing, because it used to be day tickets were kind of cheap, and then season passes were like super expensive. Like, I remember when a season pass to Squaw was like $1,500 or like $2,000 or something.
Right.
And now it's like, you get the Icon Pass for $600 and you can ride there, but a day ticket's like $180.
Right.
You're like, what?
I know where we live. The season passes are, I think, $2,400.
Holy crap!
I don't even look at it anymore.
But we don't have lift lines. That's the thing we don't have. So that's the flip side of the $600 passes.
That's kind of worth. Yeah.
Sometimes I go like $1 for foot. I'm gonna shred a year. Is it worth it just to drop in on $2,400 and do like millions of feet and not have to deal with anybody else?
Yeah. So we're in the media now, Beav.
Right.
In the media now. Yeah. Well, you could always spend the $2,400 on a snowmobile and go ride all the POWs, 0 lines anywhere.
Yes, that's true.
There's not even lines on the thing you're trying to ride.
$2,400 snowmobile, give me a break. I'm not even going to go out with you on a $2,400 snowmobile. You're going to make it like 5 miles back and burn down or something.
No way, dude. Those those 01, those like 01, 02 Ski-Doos, those things go. Like
I
the
agree
one
with
that Jim
that.
Murphy did the
Yeah, I agree
backflip
with
on.
that.
Those things go, dude, because they're like 700s that were like bored out of an 800. Like those
Right.
things
Yep.
go forever.
Sullivan-
They're not like the new sleds that blow up after like 2,000 miles.
Sullivan had one of those 01
Yep.
Skidoo 700s, and I took
I
that
did.
everywhere in Valdez because I got
Exactly.
stuck with the shitty one that I had
Yep.
to like know really how to ride, and Sullivan got
Yep.
the really good one. But I
course.
loved Black Beauty 700.
Black
I thought that
Beauty.
was that was my favorite. I thought that was my favorite sled, Sullivan. What do you think?
Because once you get those things tipped in your side hilling, like you're in it. You know, the new ones are like, it's the balance point's almost like a little. It's easier to get tipped and side hill, but then it's like you're not quite as locked in though.
Right.
The old ones, it's like when you're in that side hill, like you're in there.
How much sledding do you do these days?
What's up?
How much sledding are you doing?
A lot. I have 2 little machine babies out in the front yard right now.
Nice.
Yeah. What are your
yeah.
machine babies?
I got what is an 08 Summit 800 46 track, and then I got a 2015 Summit 800 54 track.
So you still have that
Nice.
first Skidoo that you brought out to Idaho then, the one
Oh,
with the
God,
floppy
no.
ski.
No, the 44 track. No, I fixed the floppy ski. No, that motor blew up. I don't know where that thing is. That thing's
right.
gone.
Yeah.
I've been through like a couple sleds since that one.
It's heartbreaking sometimes. I've shredded a couple engines, and it's like, what do? You're like $5,000 out, and just going like, oh fuck, like I
Dude,
gotta find another one.
What I
And-
did with my last sled was the best though. I parted it out, and I made like $2,500 off the part out, which is like,
No way.
I think selling the whole thing as is altogether, I was only asking for like $1,000, and then some guy offered me like $700 for just the chassis. So I was like, okay, and then I just started selling all the other parts that were left over. I was like, oh my god, I have like $2,000 now.
Right.
You're like, this
So
chassis got a Pentium 5.
Yeah, right. I wish it's more reliable than Ski-Doo motor.
Yeah, how long is it until snowmobiles are like fully like computer integrated, where it's like heads
Oh my
up display and like
They already are, dude.
GPS and all
You
that?
like you can't even fix the new ones without going to the dealer and plugging it into a computer. It's like not even a
Right.
machine anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why my 2015, it's a carbureted sled. It's a 2015 with T-Motion, but it's carbureted. It's kind of sick,
Oh,
Nice.
right? Yeah, it's called the Summit Sport. They
Oh.
they put it out as like they labeled it as an entry-level mountain sled or something. But
yep,
basically, it's like a 2010 sled with T-Motion.
yep,
So pretty sick.
exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, anyways, we've determined you should probably buy a snowmobile if you really want to keep snowboarding in a lot of
Yes,
places.
definitely buy a snowmobile if you want to keep snowboarding.
Yeah,
That is
right.
utmost importance.
Right.
You know, or split boards.
And learn how to ride it.
Right.
That's the most fun part.
Yeah.
Right. So what else is going on in the big picture as well? Just with riders, with trying to make money, with just trying to stay relevant,
Before
with
we
just
got
trying to
sidetracked on
survive.
sledding.
Yeah, it's so easy with snowmobiles.
It's tough out there, man. I know there's like a lot of big name riders that don't even have sponsors. I mean, if you watch like a lot of the Do Tour and other contests, these dudes like don't even have board sponsors. They're riding like blank boards and stuff, and they're in freaking X Games
or they
and
have
stuff. Or that,
sponsors
like-
and they're like winning, and the sponsors are giving them no money or incentive.
Yeah, that too. I know a lot of people who have just been fully hosed by their sponsors. I'm like, really? You agreed to do this and have them pay you that much? Like, what?
Right.
You know, like some guys that were like pretty big names, and they're like binding companies that sponsor them are paying them like $250 a month or something. It's like,
Right.
what? Like, really? You have a pro model binding? You're getting $250 a month and no royalties? Like, what are you doing?
That sounds
That's over.
That sounds crazy
See,
to me. I mean, is just name recognition not enough to actually sell a binding, or what's going on here?
I just think that companies will just take advantage of anybody that they can at any point in time that they can, because I mean, you know, they know that there's riders desperate for contracts, because there's a lot of really good riders and there's not a lot of contract loot available, because snowboards and shit last forever. So a 10-year-old board, there's plenty of people on the mountain with 10-year-old boards, and honestly they're probably better than the 5-year-old boards that are out there, because shit 10 years ago was made in Europe and shit 5 years ago was made in China. So like the secondhand market's insane. Like
Right.
you get a setup that's just as good as some brand new shit from the store off Craigslist for like $150.
Right.
You know, because it's not like a skateboard where a skateboard just loses its pop and gets soggy over time, or they break easy, you know, or
Sure.
snowboards break but not that easily. Like they don't really get soggy or lose their pop, or, you know, they're not quite as consumable.
Right.
You know, not quite as much as like other things like apparel, like gloves, beanies, goggles, those kind of, you know, like gloves get ripped through pretty quick, you know, or snowboards they're kind of expensive. They last forever. So like the hard goods market is kind of struggling a little bit. It's just because like this gear lasts forever and there's so much gear out there already that like, why would people go pay retail?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that also kind of, you know, that just hurts a lot of the, you know, just the product influx. And since like day tickets and other stuff are super expensive, people aren't spending quite as much money on gear too. There's not quite as much disposable money available there, and gas is more expensive and logistics and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, so it's like, I think that kind of contributes to why there's not maybe as much money in the hard goods space.
Plus, with the advent of 360 video, you don't even have to leave your home.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
But
Tim Humphreys,
I mean, if you want to go film
killed
a sweet 360 video at Squat, you gotta go do it.
Do you think
Right.
kids, like, obviously we're not consuming as much, but obviously we're not consuming as much, but do you think kids are captivated by things outside outside of their screen as much anymore, or are we getting sucked into, you know, technology more than being outside?
A little bit of both. I think one thing we have to realize is that we're really, really, really fortunate to have been able to spend so much time in places that are so outdoorsy, and there's a lot of outdoorsy stuff to do. Because like where I grew up in New Jersey, it was suburban as fuck, dude. Like, it was so goddamn suburban that there's like you can't go anywhere. It's just more streets and houses. Like you know, there's nothing captivating outside to go to really. You know, and that's just suburban. I mean, if you're like in a city and other stuff like that, other than like going into buildings and stuff and seeing other people at places, it's kind of hard to do that, but you can't really do that unless you have money, because most of those places cost money to go to that are kind of cool and worthwhile. And as kids, they don't really just have like that money to do that, you know, so, but every kid has like a phone or an Xbox or something like that. And it's just, they don't kind of have the good outdoor stuff readily available to them, you know, and it's such a task to even get to it. It's, you know, half of them don't even know it exists.
And $150 passes doesn't really inspire people from New Jersey to want to drive all the way to Vermont to go shred, right?
No. Yeah, like think about how much it would cost to like get you and your family out of a city, go to a ski resort, like do all that and get new gear and everything. I mean, if you're committing to do that for a whole year, it's not so bad because you'll have the gear for a while, and then it's just, you know, the season pass price every year, you know, and that's not so bad. But if you're trying to just go do it once, then yeah.
How did you get introduced to snowboarding, being that you're from New Jersey, and how did you break that mold, I guess, back in the day?
Dude, I got so lucky, man. Like my dad and brother just went out when I was like 5 or 6 or something. They went and they tried it once. And then, I don't know, they came home with that snowboard video, and they're like, hey, we did this snowboarding thing, and it was pretty awesome. We want to maybe do it some more. What do you guys think? Like, here's a video. This is what snowboarding's all about. And it was the Mac Dog's Meltdown Project. And I was like, what? This is snowboarding? Yes, this is sick. You know, so I basically got roped into it. I mean, I was already into kind of like flipping and like gymnastics and springboard diving and all that, but I kind of hated that stuff because there was like so many rules. Like you had to pick your tricks from like a certain list, and you had to like do everything a certain way. And I mean, I was like a kid. I wanted to invent brand new stuff.
So wait, let me get this straight.
Snowboarding was like, whoa.
Let me get this straight. You were a springboard diver at one time. You were in your, you know, tight your tight Speedo diving off of.
Dude, actually, here's the
fun. That's where you were gonna go.
Here's the funny thing about this is I never wore the Speedo, dude, and that's like part of the reason why I like kind of quit it, was because like
you can't not wear the Speedo.
You can't,
because I was all into skateboarding. I was like big baggy shit from like the 90s and like the Beastie Boys, and I was into that shit. And then I was doing this diving thing, and everyone's trying to get me to wear this stupid Speedo, and I'm like, I don't want to wear this shit. Like, I just want to wear some big ass baggy shorts. Like, I don't care about.
I bet Tim's mom has got a photo.
Splash, whatever, you know.
I bet your mom's got a photo of you at a Speedo.
Tim's mom.
Actually,
totally
there's not a single photo
because
I literally refused to wear one, and that's maybe what also kept me from like getting on to like the better programs and stuff like that. But honestly, I didn't
So do
really
you
actually
think-
care that much because I found out about snowboarding. I was like, this is the thing. You know, because I don't have to wear a
Yeah,
stupid
because
Speedo.
they thought it was
I don't have
weird
to-
when you were diving naked.
Right? Oh my god. Is that how they used to do it back in the olden days?
Sullivan,
know.
the visuals are killing me.
Dude, I do not want to do a naked feet first entry. Fuck that. Oh, that would be so bad.
That's out of my wheelhouse.
So you learned all your flips on a diving board as a kid, you know, and kind
Yeah.
of and
So I
then-
spent my whole childhood just like flipping around, but there was
Right.
always so many rules involved and I hated it. And then snowboarding
Yeah.
there's nobody on the mountain to tell me what to do and do whatever the hell I wanted. And I was like, what? Like,
right.
I could just go here and go there and do this and there's
Right.
no one to tell me no. Like, what? Like, what
Right.
is this place? This is amazing. You
So-
know, that was like the allure of it to me is because you're never like, oh, dude, I found this sick ass basketball court. It's like so crazy and different from any basketball court I've ever seen. Like, you never say anything like that.
Right.
Where snowboarding, it's like the exploration, the adventure, and you know, just you can go wherever you want or do it however you want. There's no like rules to it really. You can, you know, it's whatever you want it to be,
Sure.
and however far you want to take it.
Sure.
And that's been like what's kind of kept me going, and like what got me interested at first was because it was like just the exploration and just finding new stuff all the time.
Okay, so
know,
what
it's
are
like-
like the three best trips that you've ever done? Like the three most fun places you visited to ride?
Oh my god, I've ridden a lot of really fun places, but I'd probably say the most blown away I've been has been like Alaska, obviously. Like when I came up to Tailgate, Alaska, and went and rode up there, I got to go helling up there. I mean, obviously blown away. Alaska's insane. It's like
Yeah.
those mountains are like
Right.
sick. Yeah, definitely humbled by that terrain. Japan, been to Japan a bunch of times, and it is so fun. It's like there's so much snow everywhere, and there's all sorts of crazy man-made concrete structures, all these like avalanche barriers, like that Transworld cover right back there in the background.
Is that you on that cover?
Yeah, it's me on the cover. That'd be weird if I had a giant cover. Somebody else might.
Right.
But yeah, it's me on the cover, literally off the side of the road, just blasting down some avalanche stoppers that made like the sickest man-made. There's man-made pillow lines everywhere. It's nuts.
Right.
You know, and then the resorts are super sick too, and there's just so much snow everywhere in the culture. You know, that's super awesome. And then maybe I'd say like Whistler or something. I went and rode backcountry in Whistler. I went snowmobiling out there, and I was in love with that terrain because it's kind of like it's like a mini, more mellow, playful version of Alaska,
Yeah.
essentially. So it's like still kind of got the big mountain vibe and appearance and everything, but there's a lot like kind of a little bit more like, I wouldn't want to say mini golf stuff, but mini golf compared to Alaska, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Who are your three favorite people to ride with?
Favorite people to ride with. Let's see. I'd probably have to say Niall Romanek, Brandon Davis, and maybe Lego. Yeah, Lego. There's so many.
Lego.
I have so many friends I love riding with, but I've been riding with those guys a bunch recently. Like me and Scotty did that Sam Adams tour last year.
right.
We were just hitting these sketchy ass jumps at night. They were only lit up by projectors. They were projecting like 3D graphics on them. It was insane. There's fireworks everywhere and free beer.
Was that for Sam Adams beer?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
sick.
there's no tour this year, unfortunately. I guess they pulled all their budget to buy Fenway Park back from Coors or something stupid like that instead of funding our beer-fueled big air debauchery.
Has Lego been out to Tahoe to shred with you?
Yeah, he came out last spring. We did like a little photo shoot, and we filmed a bunch. What was it, 2 or 3 winters ago? And he was filming for Real Snow Backcountry back when they used to do that.
Yep.
Do they still do that? I don't know.
I think they do.
I thought they like canceled it for a year or something.
I think they're
Maybe.
still doing it. But anyway.
But yeah,
Anyway.
I went riding backcountry with him a lot. Like 2 winters ago, and then just hanging out with him on the tour. Also was super fun. Right. But yeah, Scotty's just always comedy, always down to do something crazy.
Yeah.
And, every time I ride with him, he does something so nuts on his snowboard. He's like,
no doubt.
Right. Okay,
always.
so what are your 3 favorite tricks to do? 3 favorite tricks.
3 favorite tricks.
Yeah.
I would have to say, well, on the jumps, probably like cab 9 on the jumps, because they're so easy. Like I can just do them every try. They feel great. Love that feel spinning. but like maybe the backside 540. That's the one though.
Okay.
Backside 540 is like the best trick.
Why is that?
You
Just the
hang
feeling?
out. What's up?
Because you're spinning slowly.
Yeah, just a nice
feeling?
slow spin, kind of like you sort of get this moment in the air where you like look out like directly in front of you and just see everything. It's kind of like a frontside 360 too. They're sort of like the same kind of feeling where it's like you just like stall for this moment in the air and you kind of get this like view of everything around you, and then you like look around again for the landing.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, but just that like moment of pause up there.
Have you had 3 serious injuries snowboarding?
Broke my arm, broken collarbone, sprained MCL, separated rib. Nothing like too crazy actually.
What's the thing that took you out for 3 years?
Oh, bruised heel. Oh my god. Well, bruised heel, and there's another one. There's like an ankle injury in there too somewhere.
And so it was just like one leg, one foot basically was messed up.
It was it both? I bruised one heel so bad. It wasn't. Have you ever had a bruised heel? Like I was on crutches for like 3 months. It's the most debilitating but stupid injury ever, because there's no way that you can even like X-rays or MRIs. Nothing shows that you're like hurt, but literally you can't walk, and it's like you can't even put pressure on your foot, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to make it heal any faster except for not being on it. Where it's like this weirdly contained injury that you're totally fine everywhere else, but just the very act of like touching it is like the most crippling pain, and it just never goes away. And the probability of re-injury is like, it's so easy to redo it after you've done it once. Mm-hmm. So I like heard it, and I was out for like a whole like 5 or 6 months. I couldn't do it like anything. It was insane. Like I didn't even know what was wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And then kind of getting back in the winters, trying not to come up short on any jumps. Then like I made it to like the US Open in March one year. I came up short on a jump, immediately re-injured it, was out for like another 6 weeks or so. And then I was like, started riding again because it wasn't as bad that time. Then I overshot a jump at Super Park and then hurt it again. And then that whole next summer gone, couldn't do anything. And then I was like pretty good all year, and then almost good all year. I was still like trying not to come up short on stuff. And then like in the spring I folded my ankle over and had like this crazy high and low ankle sprain. That like when I went to the doctor, he was like, damn, this is like way worse than if you would have just broke it. Dang, I could have put a plate in there, you would have been ready in like 6 weeks. But yeah, have fun. See you in 6 months.
Wow.
Because it was like high and low ankle sprain at the same time. Dude, it was gnarly. My foot was like flat in my binding, and my knee like folded over and was touching the tail of my snowboard. So like my foot was still flat, but my ankle had completely like, but didn't break.
That sounds terrible.
Oh, it was so, and that was like 6 months.
Wow.
So in the span of like 3 years, I maybe had like 6 healthy months total in the span of like 3 years.
That's when you got good at editing.
Yeah, because I was spending a lot of time on the computer because I could like only sort of ride, and things were getting kind of stressful. I was getting weird pressure from my sponsors because they thought I was just like milking it, but literally I couldn't walk. And just
what's in your pro career, what's been the hardest thing that you'd have to deal with? Maybe it's in life, maybe it's in snowboarding, maybe it's just yeah.
Oh my god, the hardest thing. I feel like everything's fucking hard. I feel like there's nothing easy about it. Dude, I struggle with all sorts of shit. Maybe just like the one thing is I meet so many people all the time, or talk to a lot of people on social media, or meet people at the mountain, and then I run into them later, and like so many times I've run into people who know who I am, and I feel like I should know their name, and I just don't know it. And I always feel like there's always like this weird awkward social pressure about it, and my biggest fear is always like people just get super pissed off and call me out super hard about it. And like one time at SIA, that exact thing happened, and somebody literally made the biggest deal out of it in front of like a shitload of people.
No way.
And it was just like the biggest nightmare scenario for me.
Oh man.
It was just like, dude, come on. It wasn't even this dude that I shouldn't, like, maybe I would have remembered his name, but literally I met him for like 10 seconds, and I was at like a scaffolding big air event about to like go start practicing, and this dude like grabs me from like some Skull Candy booth or something like that. And he's like, oh, he like saw a sticker on my board or something. He's like, oh, you need some headphones or something? I was like, I mean, no, not really. I'm just about to go up here. And he like literally made me take this pair of headphones. So I'm like, okay, well, fuck. Well, I wear them during the contest too. So
now you're like
second. So
you're indebted to
I got
him
second
to,
at
like,
it. So it was great. So Skull Candy got some great thing. I wish they would have not given me a shit contract. They offered me a contract and it sucked and I turned it down. Right. But yeah, so this dude that I met for like 2 minutes, like right before I was like, I was mid-event at like a crazy scaffolding big air, like thousands of people there, like about to go practice, like makes me take these headphones or whatever. I'm like, my mind is totally in somewhere else. Hadn't seen the guy since. Like 6 months later at SIA, this dude like was like, hey Tim, how's it going? What's up? I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, do you remember who I am? I'm like, I don't know, man. You look familiar. And he's just like, what's my name? And I'm just like, dude, I don't remember it, man. And then he just starts blowing the fuck up at me in front of like so many people from the snowboard industry that I knew. He's like,
no way.
He's like, you can't fucking remember my name. Don't ever fucking forget the people that hook you up and all this. And just like screaming it. We were like, and I'd just gotten kicked out of the Snoop Dogg show. Dude, I got kicked out of a Snoop Dogg show for smoking weed. It was fucked up. Like, I was in the VIP section.
Yeah,
and we were,
but the
like,
good
smoking
news
this joint,
is,
like
yeah.
looking at Snoop Dogg, and like literally him and his DJ were both smoking weed. So we're like, okay, well, this is a Snoop Dogg show. We can probably smoke weed here, and whatever. Next thing I know, I'm just watching the ceiling go by me, and two bouncers are like grab me by the arms from behind and were just dragging me backwards out some. So I'd just gotten kicked out of the Snoop Dogg show. We were waiting like 3 hours for him to come on because he took fucking forever, and he had played like one song, and then I got kicked out. So I was already like so mad about this shit.
And then you just get lambasted by some guy from Skull
and then
Candy
I just get
who gave you some
blasted
headphones.
by this dude. Like he was in the taxi line, so it's all these like industry heads in this taxi line, like bailing from the show because they were just like over waiting for Snoop Dogg to come out or something.
Right.
And this dude just puts me on blast so hard in front of all these people. It was like one of my biggest fears.
But
like,
now,
literally at the worst possible time ever.
Now you're never going to forget Aaron Bittner's name.
That wasn't Aaron Bittner. It was not. Aaron
I figured it wasn't, but
no. It was. I don't need to put this guy on blast.
yeah, you don't have to because you can't even remember his name, shit. Tim. You can't even remember his name anyway,
bro.
No,
so I remember it now because he told me to fucking forget the people that hooked me up, even though he made me take these headphones from him. Like, I didn't even want him. He made me take them.
Okay, hey, I see like a gold chain hanging it there behind you. You showed us your GoPro.
Oh, yeah.
Show us like 3 things you have in your bedroom there that you can work around. All right,
let me find some shit that's good. The gold chain's a good one.
Yeah, while he takes his headphones off, we should just like basically say how badass Tim's Instagram is. You should go and check it out. He has so much good clips on there and so many fun perspectives and ways that he films it so much different than everybody else. And he kind of can say that, but it's pretty innovative. Anyways, now he's coming back to the gold chain.
Leading the charge with the 360 footage.
Here we go.
All right, here
Trophy.
he is. What's
that from?
This is from I think Nanshan Open in Beijing.
Go ahead, put it on.
What?
Go ahead, put it on. Yeah, put it on.
I gotta wear it.
Yeah, you gotta wear it.
Oh, 2 chains, baby.
I bet he puts it on with his Speedo and looks at himself in the mirror.
I know. That goes nicely with your Speedo, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I literally don't have a Speedo.
You put that on late at night and put the Speedo on and look at yourself in the mirror and go like, look at this sweet gold Red Bull medal.
No way, dude. That's what my Stormtrooper onesie's for.
Okay, what else do you got at that school? So there's your prize from the
Nanshan Open, baby.
Nanshan Open, yes.
Yeah, it's like this. It was like the slopestyle contest in China.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they gave you a nice gold chain with a steel plate attached.
I think it's fake. I think it's actually gold.
I don't think so either.
Okay, talk to me about China. Do they love snowboarders in China, huh?
Yeah. I think people there are pretty psyched because it's like so new, and a lot of the things that you do in snowboarding, kind of the things that drew me to it, are something that a lot of people in China don't have, or kind of like that exploration freedom and all these other, things. And I think snowboarding is something and skiing even are things that are extremely freeing for them,
Oh, interesting.
In a country where there's like so many people, and like Beijing is just the most insanely big city and stuff. And there's a couple of ski resorts around there, but I think people in China are really, really psyched on it. I think they're, they like the experience a lot.
Interesting. All right, Sullivan wanted you to get 3 things, so go find a couple more things. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh my God, I got something good for you.
All right, Tim is walking away again. What else? What are we going to talk about, Tim? Without his
Do I
head?
have to keep wearing this thing?
Yeah,
No,
you got to keep wearing it.
You don't have
Wear
to.
the
I mean, we're
chains.
just talking shit while you take it off.
I know. We should just keep talking shit. Let's see how silly we can make him look here.
I know, right? I wonder what he's going to get. So Tim is
got the
coming
Speedo.
back. He's getting the shoe box with his Speedo pictures out.
Right.
Dude, Sully, he joined us in Alaska one time up at Tailgate. Do you have anything funny of like when Tim was up there, or like stories about Tim?
Oh,
He's got hard drives.
We're going to look at his hard drives. This hard drive's got all the good footage right here.
Yeah, right. Uh-oh.
Okay, he's back.
This should be a good one.
He's back.
Okay.
So,
All right,
literally,
what do you got?
I filmed so much shit. You want to see my hard drive stack?
Sure.
This is
Sure.
all my footage. So there's all of these. These are all like portable, like 2 terabytes.
Okay, so we got like
Has like
16.
10 of those in his
So there's
hand.
2 handfuls there. Third handful. These are other ones.
Wow.
Then we got these 2 desktop size drives here.
Ooh, nice. Those are like
let's
4
see.
terabytes.
Yeah. And then we got these are 2 solid states here. These
Ooh,
Wow.
good for
previous system
360
drives
footage.
in this computer, but I've upgraded to bigger ones. Wait, are these ones plugged in? Oh, I got to move cables, but there's 2 more 8 terabytes on my desk, another 4 terabyte. Here's another 1 terabyte. just
How
chilling
many
around randomly.
terabytes a year are you filming?
I don't know, like 4 to 8, and then
Wow.
each one of them has like a backup copy.
So I got a question.
Wait, I'm not even done yet. There's another like 24 terabytes in this actual computer, and then
Oh my God.
I also have a big external rack too,
Wow.
with like another 24.
So question, being a filmmaker, because your stack looks a lot like my stack, and I'm kind of
Right.
getting to this point where like I just go past the last years of filming, which were like 2014 or 15 when I was like doing it.
Right.
Will you ever go back and look at those things from 2000, like maybe 20 years down the line, and will the technology still exist to look at them? I think about this all the time.
I think so. I think we'll still be able to, it's all in a digital format unless something newer than digital comes into existence, I guess.
They said the same thing about the 8-track, buddy.
Right? But I mean, just the digital format, because
Right. I gotcha.
it's almost like beyond, because there's been a lot of digital formats, whether like, you could put this file onto a DVD or something, you could put it on a flash drive, you could put it on a hard drive, you could store it on the cloud, on the internet. It's like the file type can always be like transition and, brought into this new stuff.
Sure.
But I think, since it's on the computer, I don't think computers are going anywhere for a while. Like the fact that these things can plug in with a USB, like I don't see USB going away anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go back like a couple of years into stuff, sometimes repurpose old footage for stuff or just throwbacks.
Sure.
It's like I literally have put my life into this shit, so it's like, I always make sure I have backups and everything because I don't want to lose it all. And honestly, I'm in the process of consolidating all those little drives onto that big rack that I had. That's
Sure.
like soon I'm not going to have like multiple handfuls of those little drives anymore.
Right.
Because everything's just stored on those, and I've just bought that big ass rack, so I haven't put everything on it yet.
Life goal: get rid of some of my hard drives. I got 15 or 20 of them myself.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
And now I got like so many different connectors. I have FireWire. I have USB-C. I have
USB-C
USB
is the
2.
jam. I want to get rid of all my shit and just have
Right.
a giant USB-C drive.
Yeah. I think that's maybe one day I'll get there.
Yep.
Because now I can't get my FireWire drives to connect to my USB-C, and it's blah blah blah. It's a pain in the ass.
Well, because it's FireWire, it's not USB-C, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. But they don't make a dongle for that, I guess.
Right.
Oh, an adapter. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you need a whole FireWire like adapter card.
Yeah, something. I don't
annoying.
know. I don't know.
I think I still have a FireWire 800 on my laptop. It's still old enough.
Right.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah. Oh, I got to get one more good thing.
one more good thing.
What else do I have that would be good? Oh.
He's got it.
I got something good.
Okay, good.
All right. What is it, Sully? What do you think?
Maybe a ski pass photo.
Oh, maybe.
It's an idea. Just throwing it out there.
I don't know.
I figure we got him in his own space. We might as well tap into that, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So, anyways, if you haven't checked out Tim's Instagram, go and check it out. Right, Sully?
Yeah, that's right. Or go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project.
May as well take a moment to do an ad.
One of my most prized possessions.
Ooh,
yeah.
I've had a lot of these over the years, but really only one that's ever hung up on my wall.
A dew tour.
Ooh, 420.
Did you request?
That was my number 1 year dew tour.
So there used to be this thing called the Bib Club. Are you a member of the Bib Club?
I don't think so.
Is it like
the Sandwich Club?
Is it like the Mile High Club but with a bib?
It kind of is. It kind of is, but with a bib.
Wait. Do you have to do it with someone else also wearing a bib?
No, your partner.
Remember that
wears
time
the bib.
with Hannah Teeter at X Games with no shirt in the bib? Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
I think she did it. I think she's in the Bib Club.
Yeah, she went. I think just bib only, bareback bib.
Straight, dude. Honestly, I probably am, but I don't remember it because, like, I feel like after a contest or something where I did good enough and had that bib, like, I'm not remembering that.
Right. Come clean. You hooked up with Hannah Teeter, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No comment.
I seen that video on the internet.
Oh, I heard about that. You saw it?
Of course, yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
That's part of my job is covering snowboarding.
I just found out about that like not that long ago, and then we tried to search it. It was taken down.
It was taken down? Johnny Bananas was his name.
Really? Johnny Bananas?
Yeah, right? We said the same thing. We said, who names himself Johnny Bananas, right, Sully?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Is that the dude does he snowboard?
No, he's like
he probably does because he met Hannah Teeter. Where else are you going to meet Hannah Teeter unless you're snowboarding? Right?
I don't know. Greece, Bali, Maldives.
Maybe a yoga studio. Hot yoga studio. I don't know.
Hot yoga for sure.
Yeah.
Tanning salon.
Maybe could be. Yeah, she's got an interesting Instagram feed as well. Nothing like yours.
Nothing like yours.
Exactly.
Tim. Nothing like yours.
Although,
yeah, I feel like if I started modeling my content after her, I'd lose a lot of followers.
Well, no, you could model your content after her, and then you could model your bathing suits after her and start wearing a Speedo.
Nobody wants to see that.
How do you know? I mean, how do you know what people really want from you?
Ah, true.
Have you done a survey? I mean, a survey says what?
I posted a feet photo a while ago, and people were loving it. So
they're like, yeah, beautiful toes. Ooh.
I was wearing shoes.
Oh, what beautiful toes you have, Tim.
Right? No, I actually I did this little social experiment because I was posting a bunch of like dope original stuff, and people were just like not even liking it. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Here's a feet photo. And then the feet photo was getting way more likes than all this other shit that I thought was dope. So I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? So then in my, Instagram story, I was like, what was it like? Are you a robot or something? Like, yes, or like beep boop were the two options. And then the next one was like, then it's like, well, then why did you like the feet photo more? And then the two options were like beep boop or I have a foot fetish. And like foot fetish was definitely that was the crowd choice.
Okay, so what you're saying is your followers,
a bunch of my followers have a thing for feet. I don't know.
Right. So maybe more feet photos in the future.
More feet photos, blue ass water, white ass buildings in Greece. Bali, girls leading guys places. I'm just gonna be a travel blogger.
Cool. All right.
Well, Tim, we let me just ask you. Okay, now let's do a couple just kind of deep questions, just like
deep.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at the kind of the state of snowboarding, the state of the ski industry, where do you think it's all headed? Where do you hope it heads? And then where do you think you're headed as a snowboarder?
Well, I hope we're headed for an eternal ice age, so that it'll actually snow.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I think skiing and snowboarding, they'll keep going on.
Yeah.
I mean, my usefulness as a professional snowboarder is basically, as long as I can figure out ways to provide value to my sponsors, then I'll still have a job.
Sure.
I mean, there's plenty of guys out there, like Brian Iguchi, Terrier. They're way older. I mean, they were full on. They'd been pro snowboarders for years when I was like 7 and saw my first snowboard video, and they're still doing it, So
sure.
There's guys out there, and Mike Bassich too, like they're still doing it. And, if there's guys out there like that are doing it, then I feel like I can do that too. It's always confidence inspiring to see that, it's still an option. It's available, and as long as you're smart and work hard at it, which is honestly the main thing, you just kind of just have to put like a little bit of effort in. Most people are so lazy at shit besides snowboarding. Like, Skid will hike and try a trick hours and hours and hours, but like won't do like a simple little task to advance his career. So as long as I'm willing to put the work in, provide value, I think I'll have a job for a little while longer at least. I'm amazed I made it this far. So, at this point I'm just like, well, as long as I can keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back at your career, Tim, what's been, I guess, the most fulfilling thing that you can see, that you can say like, hey, I accomplished this. I did this. This was what it was about.
Definitely like filming with Standard, that video part, because that was like what I grew up on, what I'd been like reaching for in life, and that was like finally got to do it. It felt so good to actually just like go out and do that thing that was the thing that made me start. That I'd always wanted, where I'd like had some good contest results. I mean, like had like one big air at the U.S. Open one year. I got like second slopestyle and stuff. Like I've had some good contest results and things like that, but almost I've been like more psyched on just going out and filming video part and putting in that kind of work too. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully maybe the most fulfilling thing is yet to come.
Right.
I don't know yet.
Right.
Cool.
What's next for you? If you if for some reason you couldn't snowboard tomorrow, what would you do, and what would you want to do?
If I couldn't snowboard, wait, does that involve me still being able to walk?
Yeah, you can still walk. Yeah, of course.
I just can't snowboard. Fully healthy, but can't snowboard.
Yep.
You can't walk either, but you get one of those wheelchairs like Stephen Hawking's.
Oh, cool. But I can talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously,
you can
like
type with your tongue. You can type words with your tongue.
This video got really interesting.
Dude, I'm not putting my tongue on anybody's keyboard. Not even my own. But yeah, I'd probably start with maybe a little bit of like, I mean, video editing would be the easy choice, because honestly, I could just call up anybody at GoPro, be like, hey, you guys need a media producer? And they're like, oh my God, we have so much footage and we don't have people to edit it. Yes, fuck, we need you.
Wow.
So I could do that pretty easily and quick. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably just go pick up a job at GoPro or something.
Okay.
And then I'd probably do that. And then on the side, I don't know, try and do some computer stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe start like a little side computer business. Because, I don't know, like these, even like your common hard drive, like I feel like I could make this way better than like what these other companies do. You ever see the ones like this? Amazing. They don't make drives like that anymore. Extremely useful though.
I have one of those. Yeah.
What does
where
that
you
do?
can plug in the different ports, but they're actually great
ports.
because you can plug this straight into like the internal computer too. Useful.
Oh.
But they don't make shit like that anymore.
Interesting. Tell me a story about you as a snowboarder, the most fucked up thing or the coolest thing or the funniest story that you have. Give me one thing to kind of like leave us with, I guess.
Like your best day ever. How about that? Like your best day snowboarding. Yeah.
Dude, the best day ever was actually was it two winters ago, and Tahoe had a 5-year drought, and then they finally got like a big ass winter.
Right.
Literally the best day I'd ever had snowboarding. We had like a huge crew. We had like a 10-person crew or something like that. We had a bunch of friends. And we went ripping the zone, snowmobiling in the zone north of Truckee. And it's like one of the best zones in Tahoe. It's like got the most open, friendly terrain. and all that. And normally you go there and like you and your crew, you might hit like 2 little areas of this.
Mm-hmm.
We rode everything. Like, because we didn't have a filmer, we had no filmer, none of that stuff, nothing holding us back. We were only there to snowboard. And it was honestly like one of my first times ever going out to the backcountry without a filmer. And I realized like, holy shit, like when I'm filming, I don't snowboard that much. But this day was like, it seemed like the first day I'd ever actually like gone snowboarding in the backcountry, because all the other time it's like I have a task or a purpose, so I got to go film this thing. I'm waiting for like this cloud to move so the light's good so we can hit this jump that we spent like 6 hours shoveling. We didn't do any of that shit. We just went and snowboarded all day, and we had like a 10-person crew, and we each dropped like 15 like pretty big lines in like one day. And it was just the best, most insane day, because it was just nonstop shredding, lapping as fast as we could. And it was like probably the best time I'd ever had on my snowboard. And there's just like no holdups, nothing, no logistics. We were just shredding, and it was the sickest. You know, it was just like pure as free. You know, I wasn't no other worries other than just like what I was riding in front of me. You know, I wasn't trying to like impress anybody online or do something sick for the camera. It was just exactly what I wanted to snowboard on with my friends, and it was, you know, that was like the best day I've ever had.
Cool.
Do you think a lot of pro snowboarders lose track of that sometimes and just trying to always get at the shot? Maybe in snowboarding and life, I guess.
It's really easy. And that's something I realized that day was, I mean, I've been doing this for like years and years and years and years and years. And it wasn't until like last year that I really felt like, oh, wow, I actually went out to the backcountry and just hung out with my friends and snowboarded. You know, it was the first time that I wasn't waiting on logistics or a filmer or light or a battery change or this or that, you know, because that stuff just makes you snowboard like a quarter of the amount that you should be.
And you didn't even take your GoPro out.
Oh, no, the GoPro's rolling the whole time, but I mean, I just boop. Oh, yeah, I just have that little Teletubby thing on my head right there.
Right.
Boop, boop.
Right.
Beep, beep.
Any last words for him, Sully?
Any last words?
Oh, I was asking Sully if he had any questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't make me talk anymore. I'm done talking.
Wait, no, this is your interview.
This is your interview. Yeah, do you want to interview Sully?
No, I should not be interviewed.
I don't think either of us wants to.
I liked it in the Chris Coulter interview where all of a sudden the tables turned and they asked us a question, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
maybe we don't have to do that though.
No.
No, I didn't prepare any questions.
So what do you?
Either.
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't spend any time preparing questions because I didn't want to answer any of your questions anyway.
Yeah, me neither.
I know I should have done that on the chairlift today.
What are you gonna be up to this season? Like, what kind of projects are you working on? Is it just clips? Is it like videos? Is it like magazine covers? What are you working on this year?
Probably no magazine stuff because none of my sponsors pay for ads in the magazine. So like, they're not running any of my shit. Lots of Instagram clips because that's literally all I do. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some VR content going once I get some goggles and actually figure that out. No beer tour this year, so I'm not going to be on the big air tour. But I do have a social media influencer deal with Icon Pass, so I'm going to be going and hitting a bunch of different Icon Pass resorts, creating some content there. Cool. Really psyched to get out to the good ones like Jackson Hole, Big Sky, maybe Revelstoke or Japan.
Cool.
Get out there and ride some really cool places. But I want to ride a lot of backcountry this year. That's really what I want to do is just go ride backcountry, film with my friends. If I can get a filmer out there, that'd be cool. You know, otherwise just, you know, do it with me and the homies, something like that. I might even just get like a regular camera so we can just go film. 'Cause it's just hard to get footage from filmers. They're always like hoarding it.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Because they always want to get paid for it or this and that. And I don't have a filmer that's like on retainer. It's like I'd have to pay a filmer to do it. I don't know. I'd rather just have a camera pass off between the friends because I'll just give it out to everyone.
Did your left hand ever get, you know, pissed off at you? Like, hey, you got to film me, or you got to pay me now, man. You got to pay me for these shots. You know, no, you had to create your own filmer.
I use both hands.
You use both hands. That's the secret. That's the secret. Huh? Okay. All right. Anyway.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time this evening, Tim. I appreciate it.
I can't believe you guys were still listening to me. Jesus, I've been rambling for hours. Usually by 10 minutes through, people's eyes are like glazed over. They're like, oh my God, is this kid ever going to shut up?
No, thanks for taking the time, Tim. Really appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah,
really had a
thank
lot
you,
of fun.
and thanks to whoever is still listening to this podcast right now, and they listen to all of our nonsense. Thank you for actually listening. That's insane.
We should probably do a poll. Did you listen all the way to the end? Like on your
Yeah, right. Should we
yeah.
say like a secret code or something, or
Yeah. Ooh.
bananas?
Bananas. So
Bananas.
if you made it all the way to the end,
If you made it all the way through, that's the safe word. Wait, what?
Go put bananas on one of Tim's photos.
Yes.
Yeah, slap a banana.
Yes.
Slap that banana.
All right. Well, thanks
Cool.
again, Tim. It's been a
right,
been a
thank you,
blast,
guys.
dude. Right on.
Stay fly, guys.
On behalf of Mark Sullivan and the Beav, thanks for listening to the Snowboard Project. Remember, ride fast, take chances, dream big, and take action. And for God's sake, don't be a... Don't forget to support advertising-free snowboarding media at patreon.com. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.